Once we heard that, I was like, shit, my uncle and my friend is in there. So I was panicked. So I started panicking now, and a few minutes later, my uncle and I saw my friend run out. So as they ran out, a car came out of nowhere, and my uncle jumped to the back of the car, and they, I guess, was chasing the robbers. So as they were drove off, I'm still stood outside. I'm like trying to look in the house, like trying to see if there's anyone else in there. And at that point, I believe that everyone was like gone. So literally minutes after, the police showed up. I'm not gonna lie, the police arrived pretty quickly. They came and they had some big boy guns, boy, like some big boy guns. And I was like, yeah, all right, officer, let's go in the house. I'm gonna follow you guys because you look at the big things. So the officers were like, okay, cool, we're gonna go search the house and make sure that there's no one in there, and then, you know, we take statements and all of that, yada yada. I was like, okay, cool, let's just go, because my concern now was, what did these people take? And the reason I was so like worried was because me and my friends were all staying in one room, and girls get very messy when there's like too many girls together in one room, especially on holiday. And I remember before we left, we had our passports on the bed, there was money on the bed, we had our laptops on the bed, you know, we just had things just out there. So I was just like, they definitely, I was just like, yep, we're not getting back to London, they've stolen our passports, we're doomed. Anyway, as we walked in, the first room that they checked was the room that we were staying in, and thankfully everything was there. They did not get to that room. So I'm just like, hold on, so what the hell did these guys come to steal if they didn't steal these things? Because we're talking about Mac laptops, you know what I mean? And I was just so confused. I was like, what did these guys steal? So as the police were continued searching the house, we walked towards the back and I realized that they ransacked my uncle's room. Now, my uncle lives in Guyana. My uncle keeps himself to himself. He don't trouble nobody. He's just like a very reserved person. So, you know, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I was so confused. I was discombobulated to the T. Like, I was so confused. And, you know, the police were still searching and stuff, and as I saw what they did to my uncle's room, I literally wanted to cry, because I just was like, come on, you know, you're stealing from people that are in the same situation as you. How does that make sense, you know? Anyway, God, why am I getting emotional? Curry flowers. Yeah, so moving on, let me just check my phone to make sure that I'm following the story. Yeah, so the Tuesday now, so this was Monday night into Tuesday morning. The sun started to rise. The neighbors, I guess, heard about the robbery, and they started coming out and coming over to the house, and they were just like really trying to comfort us. And you know, they were saying stuff like, this has never happened before, they don't understand, like, people in this area don't do these things. And you know, they were really supportive after, like, the very morning after the robbery. Like, everyone was really supportive, and that's one thing I do love about the Guyanese community. Anything that happens within the area, your neighbors are the one that are going to be there to support you and to encourage you, to make you feel good and make you feel better about whatever situation that you're going through. You know, like I said, everyone came over and everyone was very supportive, especially to my friends who are not Guyanese citizens or residents of Guyana, never been to Guyana before. They were made to feel like they actually felt like they felt the community love that morning. And that's the only reason that my friends even ended up continue staying at the house, because they were ready to book a hotel. And to be honest, I don't blame them. But you know, after the neighbors came out, even myself, I started to feel like, okay, I can maybe still stay here and, you know, feel comfortable. So during the day now of the Tuesday, my neighbor, like one neighbor, contacted my uncle and was like, oh, he just went to his backyard and he saw a book bag with stuff inside, and he believes that it's stuff that they tried to steal. So my uncle went over to the neighbors and he literally found everything that they stole. So everything that they tried to steal, they couldn't run with it because obviously they were being chased. So they ended up dropping everything. I think I've got a video. If I do have the video, I would insert it, of the stuff that
That they stole. My uncle's stuff, and yeah, they dropped it in the neighbor's yard. So we found lost things, the shoes.
So when my uncle bought all the stuff back, guys, let me tell you what was in the bag. It's not funny, but you know, it's not funny. Straight point blank period. There were shoes in the bag. There were clothes in the bag. There was soap. There were like washing up liquid. There was canned sausages. There was a bottle of Hennessy that we had already opened up. There was, I think, toothpaste and just very small things that I don't think anyone should ever or would ever risk their lives for. You know, I saw it, and at the time, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was angry, I was hurt, I was disappointed. I couldn't tell you how hurt I was with that situation. Not just because of the robbery, just because of the impact it would now leave on two people who came to see the beauty of my homeland, and this is what had happened, you know? So I was truly hurt. Like, I was really hurt because I've been to Guyana countless times since migrating, and nothing like that has ever happened to me. Like, nothing to that drastic extent. Like, you know, breaking into home, like that has never happened before. So I just was like, God, why now? Like, why now? Anyway, moving forward. So that day went by. Like I said, we found everything, and yeah, that was that. Oh, can I just say, the police officers were amazing. Since the robbery, they visited us almost every 3 hours, every day that we were there until we left. They came all the time to double check that we were okay. They made sure that we still, you know, enjoyed the rest of our time. So the Tuesday, I remember we didn't do anything, of course. The Wednesday came. I think we went like swimming during the day, but we stayed home in the evening because we were just so traumatized. We really were scared to like leave the house and then come back late because, you know, obviously you guys knew what happened. Then Thursday came. Now, Thursday was probably even more traumatic than the robbery. So it's Thursday now. We started to try to put what happened behind us. Like I said, everyone in the community was very supportive. People literally checked on us every day. Like I said, the police kept checking on us. So we was like, you know what, we need to enjoy the rest of the holiday. Especially for my friends. I was like, I need to show you guys around at least. So Thursday evening, we decided that we were gonna go to a bar, and you know, we was gonna hang out, drink, and all this stuff. You know, just try and enjoy what's left of the holiday. So this is probably roughly around 7:30 in the evening now. We're doing our makeup, playing music. You know how girls are when they're getting ready, just vibing. And shortly after, I heard boom, 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 boom. So I was like, is that fireworks? because obviously our carnival is held around Independence, so I know they usually have fireworks around that time. But obviously Independence is gone, like why are people still doing fireworks? So I was like, okay, that's weird. Then I heard it again and again and again and again. So I was like, yeah, definitely fireworks. So I'm not paying attention to it. My friends ain't paying attention to it. And then I heard my uncle shouting my name. He's like, Tandy, Tandy. So I ran outside and I was like, yeah, what's up? He's like, you guys hear that? And I was like, what? Like, what is it? He said there are armed robbers that tried to, well, they didn't try, they broke into someone else's house. But this time the police was patrolling and the police caught them in the house. So they were having a shoot off between the police and the armed robbers. So what we were hearing were gunshots from the armed robbers versus the police. When I'm telling you, the boy, it sounded like it was in my backyard. It sounded like it was getting closer at one point. It was traumatizing. Yeah, I can't find any words besides traumatizing. It was a traumatizing experience. And all I kept thinking was, my friends, my friends, my friends, my friends, my friends are probably, I can't imagine, like I just can't imagine how they felt at this time. Especially my friend that's from Jamaica. Like, even though she's from Jamaica, she was born in London, grew up in London. Even when she goes to Jamaica, she's like in hotels and stuff. So for her to even trust me to actually stay at, you know, like my mom's home in my hometown instead of a hotel, she trusted me to, you know, come in that environment. I felt even worse. The worst. I can't tell you how shitty I felt, you know. And I was just looking at her, like I remember looking at her and she was just like, you know. And my other friend, she's a poet, and she just was like, okay, I'm gonna write a poem about this whole, like throughout the whole holiday, to be honest, she was writing poems because she felt, you know, Guyana was quite inspiring in some ways. And I remember, I just remember her writing a poem. I was like, oh God, she's probably writing how horrible the holiday is. And I just felt so, like, I was just so angry. I need a drink, guys, my mouth. Anyway, so eventually the shooting stopped about 9 o'clock. And within half an hour, a police officer came to our house and he came to tell us that about the robbery. Of course, he knew that we heard about it. And he said that he believes that the same 3 guys that broke into our house were the same people that attempted to rob someone else. And he pronounced that the 3 guys was murdered, killed, murdered, same thing. Yeah, they were killed by the police. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, at first I felt relieved because I was like, you know, I don't know, I just kept thinking like, what if these guys come back for what they didn't get, you know? So my first thought was, I'm relieved, like, thank God. But then I went back inside and I told my friends, I was like, you know, the police just came and, you know, they said that they believe that the guys that broke into our home were the same guys that was killed in the robbery tonight. And I remember one of my friends said, wow, and she was just like, she doesn't feel like that's something to celebrate, you know? And I was just like, I'm not celebrating, but you know, we can think, like, we can be cool. And she was just like, no, Tandy. She's like, think about it, you know, these guys must have been in a desperate situation for them to risk their lives for food and simple things, well, what we class as simple things. And I'm not gonna lie, that made me think about it, but I was still angry, I was still hurt. So like the ignorance in me just couldn't let myself marinate that message at the time. So like I said, that night happened, and yeah, also, you know, the police had also mentioned that someone was setting up these robberies, and they had mentioned a name to us, which, you know, was quite familiar to us, but I can't confirm or deny what we were told. I don't know how true it is, and you know, I don't even want to go too much into that, because I think we went through a lot, and yeah, I wouldn't even go too much into that. But the police had said some other things that were quite disturbing as well. So moving forward, we went out. You know, I took them to the seawalls, I took them to a few places in Guyana, and honestly, the girls really enjoyed the rest of their holiday, despite the mishaps that has happened. They loved Guyana, thankfully, and they were even willing to return. And the reason I really wanted to do this story time was because I wanted to I've recently got quite a few followers from Guyana, or that are of Guyanese heritage. Shout out to you guys. Welcome to the channel, welcome. My message to the youths of Guyana: now that I can sit here and relive and think about what has happened, it has now made me realize that in order for someone to take the risk of breaking into someone's house, not knowing if the house is armed, they don't know, you must feel that there is no other options out. And now that I think back about the act, I do feel, what's the word? I feel sad that they felt like that was the only way. Even the day after the guys were killed, people sent pictures of the people that was killed, and to see how young they were. Yeah, they were young. They were young boys that made a very stupid decision. And this is not even just for the people in Guyana, it's for anyone around the world who feel that they're in a situation that they don't think their lives are worth anything. They just need to get a way out, and they will do whatever it takes. Stupid decisions don't get you far. There's a way out. If you don't have it, ask. If you can't get it, patience. There's a way out. You know, these guys practically was killed for nothing. You know, there are mothers out there that are now mourning the loss of their child, and like I said, it's down to stupid, silly decisions, you know. And I also want to let you guys know, especially from, you know, people like myself who, you know, now at the time I felt like I never ever wanted to visit Guyana again. Like, never. I've been saying it. I was like, I'm never going back. And you know, now it's been what, 2-3 years since, like almost 3 years since visiting there. I'm now like changing my mind on that. You know, like I said, it's a bunch of young guys that made some silly decisions, and unfortunately they had to, you know, face the worst consequences life can offer you. And I don't know how is it that we can help people that are in better positions? How can we help the youth of Guyana? That's what I want to know, you know. So there's just so much that I want to say. So much that I want to say, but I'm just gonna leave the video on that. How can we help you guys? Let us know. Don't make a stupid decision, honestly. Stupid decision. Just saying. So before we leave this video as well, like I said, my friends, who I'm going to name, Curmiah Lisette. She is a beautiful poet, and like I said, during the night of the shooting, she wrote a poem, and I would like to share that poem with you guys. And I hope that this is something that you guys really would listen to and pay close attention to her words. And the youths of Guyana, we care for you guys, and we want to know a way of connecting to you. How can we help? How can we help the youths of Guyana? I feel like you guys have been neglected. I feel like we don't pay attention to these things, and this whole situation has truly opened my eyes to how bad things may be for some. So whoever is watching out there that knows how myself, and there's other people out there that I know would love to help, reach out to me and let me know, and let's start something to help. No. So let's end the video on a positive note. I'm going to leave you with a poem by Miss Curmiah Lisette. I'll see you in my next video.
The bandits. The elders apologized for their youth, gathering to say, "Sorry, it's not always like this, sir." Of course, for them, it hasn't always been like this. Auntie Pam next door is grateful when we patronize her yard tuck shop, softly hollering, "Keep it coming!" She knows the country needs the tourism. The news is passed on through a reporter on Facebook Live. Trevor's gone frontline as a plea for foreign to see the state of the country. The neighbors race towards bullets that take lives, applauding the police through their own attempted suicides. We, foreigners, visiting a country we regard as home, sit in solidarity on settees, gathered in a living room of fenced and gated doors and video surveillance security. Dressed for a party we couldn't attend, each alone with our thoughts and fears, thinking, well, I won't be back here in a hurry. And what can I do to save my country? Maybe next time I'll stay in a hotel, give money to the big hands in the hope that bread will break into jobs for the youth. Each alone with our thoughts, fearing for those who leave behind, watching the shootout round the corner on Norman Street, play back through our phone screens and white noise of fans and a film. We give thanks for our lives, counting down to return to a place where they kill you in other ways. At least less painful than this. At least less painful than the agonizing heartbreak of not feeling safe in your own home. The neighbors that race towards bullets that take lives applaud the police through their own attempted suicides. Hollering, "Big up the police!" Applauding, "Good job!" For killing the bandits. The bandits who are willing to risk their lives for rice and sweets and soap powder. But a mother has just lost her son. A mother has just lost her son. A mother has just lost her son.